everybody doing today? We have a crazy, busy, cool show today. And I'm just going to start by doing a song. Happy Thursday. It's cloudy as hell over here. Hopefully it's beautiful where you are. One by One, co-written by Lorraine Farrow. Thank you so much for helping me with this song, Lorraine. Let us know where you are and what meal you might have just eaten. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I do always think about food. Gotta tell you, I do. It's all about connection. I see you and you see me, starving for affection. We really need each other, forgetting to remember it's just a social disease. In this together, separate us and we suffer. The 100th monkey was just some flunky, for you said you cared. Your 2 coins, the tipping point, you changed everything back in there. It's alchemy plus chemistry. You changed the world when you smile at me. We can wake a nation that's gone numb. One by one by one. It's all about perception. What you believe is what you see. The world is your reflection. Is it the best it can be? Everybody's different, but every heart is the same. Wanting forgiveness, wanting to be whole again. If you've been listening, keep insisting who you are is not enough. Take one step, one day, give somebody one hope. Watch you lift them up. You're the flame, a heart on fire. Oh, you see, you inspire every living thing under the sun. One by one by one. Oh, one by one. Yeah. My soul. Oh, yeah, this is the short version today. It's all about connection, people. We really need each other. Yes, we do. I see you, you see me. Oh, thank you. So, check it out. Yeah, I'm going to sing a song, then I'm going to talk about Mark Lettieri. I'm so excited that we're adding some instructors into our February Guitar Cloud Symposium. And, you know, I knew that Mark Lettieri existed, but I didn't know him. And I knew that he played with Snarky Puppy, one of my favorite bands of all time. I didn't know about the Fearless Flyers. I didn't know about his baritone sessions. There's so many things to know about you, Mark. But I think that it's pretty well established that he's one of the funkiest guitar players on the planet. And so let me put my headphones on. And I just want, you know, we're just letting him come in and talk a little bit today. Come on, Mark.
I'm here.
Hey, I see I see you.
That was an awesome tune.
Oh, thank you.
I got to tune into your class because I need to know how to do that.
Well, I am going to be riveted to your class, so there you go.
That was groovy. I love the harmony, too.
Thank you.
What are you tuned to?
This is a C2, so that's a low C.
Oh, okay.
G, D, G, C, D. It's a really nice tuning. Yeah, it's really fun tuning.
Yeah, that was killing.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you for the entertainment this morning.
Yeah, so I've been like listening to your stuff for, you know, days now, and it's like, ooh, e. And, you know, there's a lot for you could say a million things about what you've been up to and what you've been doing, who you've been playing with, your solo projects. But like, we're here really to just let people know what you're going to be teaching in February.
Well, it's going to be, I'll use the word groove-based, because I feel like funk, you know, so you say it and people automatically think one thing, but I like to look at it as, I mean, it's all of the things. It's funk, but it's groove, you know, because there can be groove in rock music and pop and country. It's all sort of the same thing, but we are going to focus on the funk types of stuff, R&B, that kind of thing. And I want to look at not only like just technical ideas to do, but feel, like understanding pockets, understanding playing ahead of the beat, on the beat, behind the beat. You know, all those different kinds of things that establish dynamics in a guitar part, really.
Right. You know, I know you teach, I teach. Sometimes it's really hard for students to know what that means, like to have feel. How do you teach feel?
Well, I know. I've been trying to figure that out. I've been trying to chase that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And, you know, with us all kind of being locked down, a lot of the teaching that I did for several months during the first part of the pandemic was over Skype. And so that's always hard to kind of like be able to teach that if you're not in the room with someone, you know, where you can really hear the idiosyncrasies in their time feel. But, you know, I've always, I think with feel, a lot of it's just experiential. Like if you have the opportunity to work with other players, not even on a professional level, but just in a communicable level where they are grooving at a higher level than you, they will kind of raise you up to that point. And I've just been very, very blessed to be around a bunch of great groove-based players here in Texas that, you know, kicked my butt till I got it together.
Did you have to learn groove? I mean, weren't you born
Well, I mean, I don't know. I suppose I've always had decent rhythm. So maybe some of that was innate. My mom was a dancer, so she did ballet and things, so she kind of knows how to keep time. But there was a learning curve a little bit for me. But I just dedicated myself to it, and I think I made it a point to seek out the people that were doing that and listen to them and go see their bands and try to play with them and put myself in situations where I could learn on a one-on-one or two-on-two or band kind of level. You know,
that's a great analogy. It really is. I remember Victor Wooten saying that about, you know, he used the metaphor of like when we're learning how to speak, we're around people who speak really well. Like we don't just talk to people who talk baby talk, right? You know, and part of that process of us learning how to speak involves having been around tons of people for all the time since we're born, hopefully, who speak, you know, and why isn't it the same? Why shouldn't it be the same with music? So I love that suggestion, Mark. That's really, you know, put yourself in those places where you know you're going to be.
Well, if you want to learn French, move to France.
Not in a pandemic.
I mean, easier said than done, but you know, there's only so much Rosetta Stone can do for you before you should just go over there and try to hail a cab.
You're right. Just because I could love to ask you so many questions. What's something currently going on? What's a project? I know pandemic is in the way, but once pandemic goes and you're able to get out on the road, will you be back out with Snarky Puppy? Will you be doing your own thing? What's like right?
Well, hopefully all of the above. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know what's on the Snarky calendar. I think we were talking about this at the Facebook thing, but I have a couple local gigs with my group coming up. Texas is starting to kind of try to make gigs a thing again, so that's nice. So we got that going on, and then I have a record coming out in April that is the baritone-based, really aggressive funk rock stuff that I do. So that'll be out in April, and then ideally I'll tour on that. My live gig is a mix of a bunch of different stuff that I've written. So I got to figure out how to play a lot of this baritone stuff live with a quartet because it's pretty involved.
Wow. I was listening to some of that. So for those that don't know, baritone guitar is like, It's like a guitar, but it's tuned down. What is it tuned down? A fourth, or what is it typically?
A fourth or a fifth.
Right.
Yeah, usually a fourth or a fifth.
Right.
And then you have like the Fender Bass 6, which is a full octave down.
Oh, wow.
That's just a whole other thing.
Wow.
But most of my baritones are either in B or A.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. You guys got to check that out too. The baritone sessions, pretty wild. Really cool stuff, Mark. I'm so excited that you're joining us. And
me too.
Yeah, people check out Mark Lettieri. He is no sissy. This is some real stuff here. It's really cool.
All right.
So glad you came on. And
my pleasure. Thanks, Vicki.
I'm gonna see you in a couple weeks. Funking
All right.
away.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Thank you.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, I love his playing. He's so great. So do check him out. Are we ready to for our little video segment?
Sure.
Okay. I know you all. Oh, I don't need these, but I know you all probably have seen this, and I don't even truthfully. Somebody tell me if it's for real, because I don't even know if it's for real. But I just, before I even heard it, I just looked at it and I went into sheer hysterics this morning, and I figured that's got to be good for something. So we have a little video we're going to show you in case you haven't already seen it, and here you go. Coming up.
Things you might want to take
We're
a
trying to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to this.
Okay, there we go. So is it real? Is it Memorex? I mean, is that real or was that just rigged? It had to be rigged, right? I don't freaking know, but it really got me laughing, and for that, I'm grateful. So I hear, Ted, just so you know, I hear the show coming out of some speaker. I don't know where, but I do hear it. No. I do hear it. Anyway, okay, I'm going to go on to this story. In honor of Black History Month, February, this is a really cool story I did not know about and somewhat relevant today. Inoculation was introduced to America by a slave. So I know we do have some pictures there. Few details are known about the birth of Onesmus, but it is assumed that he was born in Africa in the late 17th century, before eventually landing in Boston. One of the 1,000 people of African descent living in the Massachusetts colony, Onesmus was a gift to the Puritan church minister Cotton Mather from his congregation in 1706. Now, Mather didn't really trust Onesmus. He wrote about having to watch him carefully due to what he thought was thievish behavior, and recorded in his diary that he was wicked and useless. But in 1716, Onesmus told him something he did believe, that he knew how to prevent smallpox. Onesmus told Mather about the centuries-old tradition of inoculation practiced in Africa. By extracting the material from an infected person and scratching it into the skin of an uninfected person, you could deliberately introduce smallpox to the healthy individual, making them immune. It wasn't actually a vaccination, which involves exposure to a less dangerous virus to provoke immunity. But it did activate the recipient's immune system and their response, and protected against the disease most of the time. Mather was fascinated. He verified Onesmus' story with that of other enslaved people and learned that the practice had been used in Turkey and China as well. He became an evangelist for inoculation, also known as variolation. I bet you did not know that. Variolation, and spread the word throughout Massachusetts and elsewhere in the hopes it would prevent smallpox. However, Mather hadn't bargained on how unpopular the idea would be. The same prejudices that caused him to distrust his servant made other white colonists reluctant to undergo a medical procedure developed by or for black people. interesting turn of events, because today you have a lot of black people and people of color who are wary about vaccinations given by the government, isn't it? For very good reason. For very good reason. This is not for good reason. Mather was vilified. So Mather himself became vilified as he talked about trying to share this procedure. The New England Courant, there's a paper, they ridiculed him. An explosive device was thrown in through his windows with an angry note. There was an ugly racial element to the anger. Religion also contributed. Other preachers argued that it was against God's will to expose his creatures to dangerous diseases. So in 1721, this is when this was going on, Mather and Zabdiel Boylston, the only physician in Boston who supported the technique, got their chance to test the power of inoculation. That year, a smallpox epidemic spread from a ship to the population of Boston, sickening about half of the city's residents. Boylston sprang into action, inoculating his son and his enslaved workers against the disease. He then began inoculating other Bostonians. Of the 242 people he inoculated, only 6 died. 1 in 40 as opposed to 1 in 7 deaths among the population of Boston who did not undergo the procedure. So that's a cool fact I had no idea about. Did you already? You may have known that, but I'm learning more about amazing black history, and will continue to do so. Okay, now, I don't know if anybody gets up before sunrise, and I'm not sure around different parts of the planet and different parts of the country how it would work out time-wise, but I think on the East Coast here, about 30 minutes before sunrise today, and if you missed it today, which I missed it today, tomorrow, a rare Jupiter-Venus conjunction is happening. They're going to be really close together, and try it tomorrow. What I also want to say is there's a really cool app. I think I gave a picture of that app. Now I can't remember its name. Star Walk 2 seems to be a really cool app that will help you figure out, wherever you are, it's going to kind of point to where things are there. So I think that's really cool. So you get a chance tomorrow to see this cool thing happening with Jupiter and Venus. All right, now, speaking of the sky, I would like to bring out my favorite weather person, and yours too, Miss Cathy Bedwell.
Good afternoon, can you hear me?
Yes!
This is Cathy Bedwell reporting to you from WKFU, your Brooklyn weather station. So, I'm over at my place in Prospect Heights, and you know what? I have a backyard, as most people know. I cannot believe how much snow is back here. So together, we're going to take our my first foray. Okay, let me start all over. No, just kidding. All right, let's go. Okay, that's not much. Can you see my feet?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Looks like trouble ahead.
Whoa, you got boots on?
Of course. Oh, it's hard. Watch me get stuck out of here and you're going to have to call the police. Oh! Uh-oh. Yeah, maybe I'm too old to be doing this stupid ass stuff. And I was going to do a snow angel. So anyway, that's a lot of snow. And it's real thick underneath.
Please don't fall.
All right. I know. I'll get in trouble at home. All right, so anyway, look on the top of my grill. Ah, yes, the beauty of a backyard in Brooklyn. So today I want to talk about the hanging glacier that broke off in the Himalayas and started to melt. And the amount of ice and debris that landed in a river caused the river to flood and the dam to break and wash down. And around 100 people lost their lives. And I don't even know how many they said were missing. 150? This has happened before. I was reading up on it. And I can't remember where. Probably in India, in the Himalayas, where thousands were killed. So it led me to think about, I don't know, so many of us, including myself, I have to admit, see something like that. And, oh, that's horrible. Those poor people. What's for dinner? Maybe just forget about it. If it happened here, we'd be out of our minds. So, I mean, we do have something like that going on right now, where thousands of people are dying every day. I did read in the New York Times that the virus is starting to make a downward turn here. So things are starting to look better. I will post that article in the comments. But yeah, there's always the variable of these new variants, and I just feel so good right now that I can be in my backyard and not wear a mask, or the two wet masks that I'm wearing. Anyway, let me tell the weather, because sometimes I do the report, and I don't talk about the weather. It's cold here, and it's going to be very cold the next couple of nights. I mean, that might not sound 18-degree low might not sound bad to people in Minnesota, where they had a -4 this morning, but that's the way it is. So, anything else?
No, I want to say my nephew told me, I think he told me it's going to be like 19 degrees next Monday in Texas.
That's insane. It was just in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Look, climate change is real. Climate change is real. We are destroying the planet. We are heating up the planet. And if we don't get serious, and that means all of us, it's going to be bad. It's bad already, but, it's like a slow burn. Anyway, and let me just mention my website, my new website, designed by Tay Hoyle. WKFU weather station. Wait a minute. WKFUBrooklynweatherstation.com. And this is Kelly Bedwell reporting to you from WKFU New York weather. The weather arcade show. Oh my God, it's cold. See you later if I get up. Otherwise, goodbye, cruel world.
We'll send someone over.
All right. Please don't put me getting up. Please don't film me getting up.
Okay, you're gone. And that is our weather woman with a dramatic flair, Kelly Bedwell from Brooklyn Weather Station, WKFU. Awesome. Thanks, Kel. Let us know if there's snow where you are, or if there's snow or rain or sleet or ice or mountains, or just give us a heads up of where you are. I'm really excited to say that there's a great musical instrument company called Gold Tone. And Gold Tone makes a lot of your basic instruments, guitars, banjos, mandolins, but they have a specialty where they make hybrid instruments. And I will feature this in a little while. This is one of those, and it is a mandola body and a guitar neck. And our musical guests today, who are not coming on quite yet, but they will be coming on shortly, they are also there's going to be some Gold Tone instruments there. I just want to thank Gold Tone for doing the cool stuff that they do, and also let you guys know that in the mail today, to me, is a little M bass, which is a really cool, it's a tiny little bass that they make that I'm going to be able to show you as soon as it gets here, probably next week. And then I'm going to tell you that we're going to give that away over the next couple of months for those of you who share this while it's live. So get used to that. Know you were doing it before to win the Luna. Now you get a chance to win this cool little M bass by Gold Tone. So practice sharing this now while we're live. Please tell your friends. It's a cool thing. We love when you come and visit us. I have one more story before I bring on Cathy, Fink, Marcy, Marxer. Okay, hold on. This is about Yale University offering its popular happiness course to some high school students for free. In 2018, this could be for all of us. In 2018, Yale professor Laurie Santos taught a class in response to concerning levels of student depression and anxiety. Very real thing. It became the most popular course in the school's history. That's Yale, in the school's history. Now the course is being offered for free to more than 550 low-income high school students across the U.S. They'll receive free college credits upon completion. Our goal is to equip students with scientifically validated strategies for living a more satisfying life, while also creating opportunities for high-striving, low-income students and students of color to demonstrate college readiness, explained Santos, professor of psychology and head of Silliman College at Yale. According to a statement from Yale, the new program, which was developed in partnership with the University of Connecticut and the National Education Equity Lab with support from the Arthur M. Blank Foundation, will be offered in more than 40 Title I schools from 17 cities, including Atlanta, New York City, Los Angeles, and New Haven. The class since spawned both a massively successful online course, The Science of Well-Being, available for free on Coursera, with over 3 million enrollments to date, and the hit podcast, The Happiness Lab, a top 5 Apple podcast with over 30 million downloads. This is a really challenging time, and that means that students need to learn new strategies to protect their mental health, said Santos. Our goal is to give students the tools they need to flourish and feel better, but in addition, we can give students a rigorous Yale education experience and an opportunity to see that they have what it takes to succeed in college and beyond. I think that's really cool. I do. I think that's very cool. Okay. Musical guests. You know, Cathy and Marcy they do so many things. They play so many instruments. They're also 2-time Grammy Award winners. They're master musicians with a career spanning over 35 years. They sing, they play 5-string banjo, ukulele, mandolin, cello, banjo. I know that Marcy just got something new that maybe she'll share with us, a new instrument. They've got festivals. We just tuned into one of their festivals last weekend. And, you know, I believe that was like one of 3 festivals or maybe 4 that they've done already this year. They're doing them virtually, obviously. They're educators, they're musicians, they're songwriters, they have a children's music project, I believe. Anyway, they'll have to tell us. Anyway, they're just absolutely full of amazing things. Please welcome Cathy and Marcy.
Hey,
Are you caffeinated?
Here. We're enjoying the show so much.
Oh, and so we saw you earlier, pre-caffeine.
Yeah.
And how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel now?
You know, it makes all the difference in the world. Plus, with that reliable weather forecast, it was really absolutely lovely. And we have snow here too. But one rule of thumb is when you have snow outside, don't walk outside trying to balance with your car keys in your hand, because you might not find them till spring.
Oh, I have a feeling that happened.
Yes. How did you know that?
This was an intuition. Like recently?
No, not recently. When I lived in Michigan, actually, there was a snowstorm so huge, followed by another one, that I lost my red Ford pickup truck.
Oh my God, not just the keys, you lost the whole truck.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh man. Where are you located now? Where are you broadcasting from?
Right now we're broadcasting from Silver Spring, Maryland, which is one of our 2 prime locations. Our second prime location is closer to where you are in Lansing, North Carolina,
Yep.
home of one of our great mentors in old time and bluegrass music, Old Bell Reed. But right now we're up in Maryland for a while. They've had 3 flakes of snow, and speaking of weather, they act like the world is coming to an end with 3 flakes of snow. Now, I spent 5 years living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where if the snow wasn't taller than your head, it didn't exist. The buses ran, the schools were open. You know, as long as you could shove your front door open, everything was happening.
Wow.
And so when they see a drop of snow come down here and start freaking out like it's the only thing that happened, I'm still humored.
Wow. Yeah, it's, you know, we're lucky. I lived in Ithaca for 6 years and visited my dad up there for many years. So I'm kind of used to snow, not quite as bad as that, but I am used to it enough to know I'm glad that we don't get so much down here in North Carolina. I'm really glad.
Just enough to whiten things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, our mountain in North Carolina is a little too snowy for us to get up and down our driveway right now, but
wow.
that'll clear out in a couple of weeks, and that's where we'll mostly be located, and then we get together with you and play some music live with our masks on, of course.
Yes, yes. Oh, man. We do the show actually on our front porch in the summer, hence the name Front Porch Thursday. And I would love it if you would come in person in the summer, and we'll do a show on the porch.
Well, by
we'd
that
love
time,
it. Yeah.
we'll all be vaccinated. We'll
Yeah.
still have our triple masks
Yep.
on, and then Marcy's got a musical invisible playing bubble around her.
Okay.
And everything's safe, baby.
All right. I love it. I love it. Between the two of you, you must play like 25 different instruments. And also people may not know who's Marcy and who's Cathy. So, Cathy, why don't you start telling us what are your main instruments?
My main instruments are 5-string banjo and guitar and ukulele. I am what I call a social fiddler, and I dabble on a handful of other instruments. But Ms. Marxer is the one who literally plays 50 instruments incredibly well, and she won't brag about herself, so I'll just do it. She plays the steel drums, she plays Latin percussion, she plays every kind of guitar. She plays the mandolin, she plays the tenor banjo, the cello banjo, she plays the hammered dulcimer. Honestly, she's a better fiddler than I am, even though she never practices. And Marcy's just one of these people for whom stringed instruments make total sense, but she also plays all kinds of world music, flutes and whistles and percussion. That's why we call her Magic Marcy.
Wow. And I didn't know about all those other things, Marcy. You must wear a sign that just has the list, if you don't want to brag about it to people.
Well, that's one reason why I have so much fun going down to Gold Tone, because they make all kinds of stuff, and I can go from one instrument to another and just have a great time.
Yeah, we love the folks at Gold Tone
Yeah.
Instruments. And in fact, if you go on their website and you look at the demos, she did the demos for almost every instrument except clawhammer banjo, which was done by our good friend Bob Carlin. But I think she did 47 or 48 different demos in 2 days on every instrument they have. When they got to the auto harp and they said, "Here, can you throw this one in?" And she was exhausted. She said, "No, feed me."
I'm done.
That's it. That's it. Yeah,
Plus, Robin is a much better auto harp player than I ever would be anyway, so.
But the Gold Tone people are really, one of the things that we think about with all the people that we work with who are in the instrument world, these are good people.
Yeah.
And when you go to them for a giveaway like you're talking about, or the support of so many of the festivals that we've been involved in, either as performers or as organizers, they're always game to be part of the community. So I'm happy to give a big shout out to Gold Tone. Of course, there's lots of other companies in the same boat, but Gold Tone has a special place in our hearts, especially because when you see Marcy's cello banjo, they worked with her to bring that back into the world. And we'll get to that on the next song. As you can see, neither one of us is holding a banjo at the moment.
I didn't think so. So I have more questions for you, but why don't you start with a song for us?
All right. Well,
Okay.
we're going to play a classic rock and roll guitar piece. This is a Gibson L4. I thought Marcy was crazy in the late 1980s. The Gibson Company had fallen in love with her. They said, go to the showroom in LA. We were actually doing a bunch of kids programs at the Hollywood Bowl, and they said, well, just go to the showroom in LA and pick something that you like. And we went to the showroom, and she picked out this guitar, and neither one of us had played anything electric. And I thought, this girl is nuts. What are you thinking? What the heck are you thinking? And then she brought it home and plugged it in, and I went, oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Marcy has, she's got personality instruments. She attracts these instruments that bring out the best in her personality. So this is an old tune from Arthur Guitar Boogie Smith. It's called The Guitar Boogie. I am the lowly rhythm guitar player.
Oh,
Take it
you're
away,
the-
Marcy.
You're the rock.
Go. finish.
Yeah.
Just like all the rock and
Oh,
rollers.
I love that, ladies. That's awesome.
Now I'm awake.
Yeah.
All right, we woke her up.
What amp are you plugged into for that? What are you using?
Oh, it's this little Yamaha practicing.
Oh my God, check it out.
Yeah, oops,
That's
I can't
great.
find it in the.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
It sounds great. Love it.
Funny, isn't it?
Yes.
It's 5 pounds or less.
Yeah, I've seen that amp at a NAMM show in the past. Yes.
Yeah, the
they're
older
great.
we get, the more we want everything we have to schlep to be lighter.
Gotcha.
I used to carry it in my suitcase on the road. Just put the amp in the suitcase and tell the sound person to turn it up in the monitor.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So, we saw was it last weekend or the weekend before? We actually caught your online festival.
Right. One of
And-
our many online. I think between last April and this coming April, we will have instigated and run about 15 online festivals.
Wow, you ladies
And
rock.
that one was the 4th online old time banjo festival. A good friend of mine, Brad Kolodner, who's a fabulous player and also a great organizer, and I have worked together to bring some great programming to the banjo community, bring some good work to some fabulous old time banjo players, but mostly the real purpose is, around last April when we were all locked down, we're used to getting together with people all the time just to play music for fun, just to jam, either at Brad's old time jam session every other Tuesday at a place called the Five and Dime, a bar up in Baltimore, or at an old time music festival, or just a gathering in somebody's backyard. And we realized how much we were going to miss that, but it's also the place where we meet new people and hear other people play and give workshops, a lot of banjo camps and things like that. So we decided to run an online old time banjo festival, and the first one was so successful and people begged for more. We've now done 4 of them.
That's so great.
It's been really fun. We also, over the summer, had an online old-time banjo contest, because the contests, although the word contest sounds competitive, really I see it as a great way to sit down and listen to 20 to 50 or 60 or 70 old-time banjo players. Wow. Absolutely, in that number of players, I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to hear some stuff I've never heard before. I'm going to go backstage and make some new friends. And so we did that online.
Neat.
And it built the kind of community that we were hoping for. People didn't just post their own videos and go away. They posted their videos. They watched everybody else's videos. They commented on other people's videos. They were rooting for each other. It was, it was that time when we worked to bring out the best of each other during these really challenging times. Yeah. Marcy is an incredible instigator of fun, and she has something very similar to that coming up for the ukulele community. Hold up your little poster there, Ms. Marxer.
I don't know if you've seen this, but the World Virtual Ukulele Contest is running.
Other way.
Other way. Here, give it to me. Give it to me.
Okay. The World Virtual, there you go. The World Virtual Ukulele Contest is running now.
Oh, wow.
And it's free to kids. There's an entrance fee for adults. There are several categories to enter in. We're raising money for a youth scholarship to
right.
provide lessons and camp workshop opportunities to young players. If people want to enter, look up World Virtual Acoustic Concerts on Facebook.
Acoustic contests.
Acoustic contests, sorry about that, on Facebook. And if they want to just donate, we have a tax-deductible donation set up with a 501c3 called imtfolk.org. Institute of Musical Traditions, it stands for. Just put a note, youth scholarship or ukulele on your note, and we'll know where that money goes.
And talk about generosity. We've talked about Gold Tone. This entire ukulele contest, and so far we've gotten about 25 entries from all over the world. We're still waiting for U.S. entries, folks, so go ahead and enter, because, you've got competition all over the world. But a big shout out to the Martin Guitar Company, who are making beautiful ukuleles, which they've done since 1913, I think. And they're sponsoring the whole thing. Awesome. And we're very grateful to them. So again, it's like with you, Vicki, an opportunity to sort of, get all aspects of the community together. And there'll be a little uke playing later, but right now we'll go back to gold tone because Marcy's holding her Marcy Marxer model gold tone 4-string cello banjo tuned like a cello,
Oh my
a
God.
gigantic 14-inch pot. This is an 11-inch pot of a sort of normal 5-string banjo, but go ahead and give them just a taste of that on its
Okay,
own.
and
Mars.
Gold Tone has sponsored the banjo and flat picking contest that we were involved in.
Beautiful. Are those nylon strings?
They are nylon strings, 3 wound and 1 unwound, but I love the way this sounds.
Yeah, it's really
Back in the
warm.
day when they were made in the early part of the century, in the 1900s, not the 2020s.
What century?
They were made with metal strings, and I think that's why the instrument never really got popular. But with these strings on it, it
You
rocks.
think that's why it never got popular? Here's what I think. I think they just hadn't heard Marcy Marxer play it yet.
There you go.
Put your capo on the second
They
fret.
didn't have a gold tone yet.
I love the sound of it. I love it.
Well, we're going to do
This
two
sounds
things
better
with
than
this
any of the old
combo,
ones.
and folks, hang in there because Vicki's going to play on the second one with us.
Yay.
And the first one is, since Vicki's sitting in North Carolina and it's our second home, we thought we'd choose a song from North Carolina by one of our very favorite songwriters, a dear friend, and someone who I think has really defined songwriting to a certain extent in North Carolina, and that would be Cy Kahn. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, terrific songwriter, thousands of songs, also an incredible playwright. He's written some great musicals. This song goes back to easily the 80s, maybe the late 70s. I started singing it in the 80s, and a song is good when it just never goes away. When you have a reason to keep it in your repertoire, and this is just a great new old-time tune. It's called The Wild Rose of the Mountain, and we might even follow it with a fiddle tune or two. We ready?
Yeah.
Oh, if I had my life to live, I'd surely live it over. Only working brand new shoes, just lay down in clover. On the work on Christmas Day, all the rest goes sporting. Spend the days down at the creek and every night go courting. Here's the chorus. Honey from the honeycomb, water from the fountain, sugar from the sugar cane, the wild rose of the mountain. Take it, Marcy. When I think of home, sweet home, it makes my eyes grow misty. Papa singing gospel songs, Mama sipping whiskey. Whiskey from that white oak barrel, sure to make good liquor. Makes the night seem twice as bright, the days go by much quicker. Honey from the honeycomb, water from the fountain, sugar from the sugar cane, the wild rose of the mountain.
Yeah.
Wild Rose of the Mountain, followed by a little fiddle tune called Briar Picker Brown, one of my faves.
Wow. Oh, I love that fiddle tune too. That's gorgeous.
That's a sweet tune, isn't it?
I mean, there's just something, there's something just you can't help but moving your feet on that stuff. It's just, I love clawhammer banjo too.
I'd love to see what you would do with a banjo in your hands. I bet you must play banjo.
Well, I play a 6-string, so it's not really a banjo.
Sure.
But and then I've done some I've done some hanging out with Steve Boffman.
Oh yeah.
Who's a great guitarist.
Oh, well, that doesn't count. Just kidding.
But
He's one of my faves.
But what he got me to do was just start replacing all my low strings on all of my instruments with high strings.
Oh.
So that I would have a, I'd have a pretend banjo. Anyway, I ended up writing a cool piece with Danny Ellis, another great songwriter, with this instrument with the high string on top, and some crazy ass tuning.
Tell us about that instrument.
This one here?
Yeah.
Well, this is a mandola body, right? So it's a little bigger than a mandolin, but it's got this guitar, the mini shrunken guitar neck, and so I've got 6 strings, and I basically, if they're tuned as a guitar would be tuned, I believe they'd be an octave higher. However, I don't ever put them in standard tuning, so they're whatever they happen to be. Right now, they're in an open C.
And that's because
we're gonna play something.
Sounds amazing.
I'm in C right now, and the cello banjo, the lowest note is a C.
Cool.
So, Marcy was introduced to the cello banjo by our dear friend Mike Seeger many, many years ago. Mike came up to our house to do some recording, and he said, "Yeah, go ahead and play," and I'm going to bed after we did our recording. And I knew the second I heard his 1917 Gibson cello banjo, I knew that it was meant for this particular tune. And so we went for hours goofing off with this tune. It's called Coleman's March. It's a traditional old-time fiddle tune. We have played it in so many configurations, it's hilarious, including about 9 years ago when we were on tour for the State Department. We were in Malaysia, and we played it with a band that sort of had mostly Indian instruments. There was a great sitar player and a great tabla player, and that's up on YouTube somewhere. But now we get the chance to jam with Vicki playing the mandotar, or whatever we want to call it. If it's called a mandotar, I sort of feel like in a cartoon it would have a moving head and talk to us.
I'm sure it would. Am I muted yet? Not yet?
We're huge fans of you, of your playing, your musicianship. Just so you know that. I want to make sure.
Thank you so much. And ditto.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Right back at you.
All right, Marcy's going to kick us off on the cello. Whoops.
I'm going to tune it.
Good idea. Tuning, worth it.
Pardon me, this is going to really make a difference.
Tune away,
I don't
ladies.
think the low C got there.
I don't think so either.
There you go.
There we go. I had untuned it for the capo. All right.
All right, here we go. Coleman's March. Coleman's March.
Sweet. Sweet.
Thank you for playing on that, Vicki.
Oh, thanks. We're gonna do it. We'll do it in person sometime. Can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool for me because I don't normally play that kind of stuff. So it's great. It's great fun, and I love those instruments, both of them.
It's a pretty magic combo, and one of the things that I love about that arrangement in particular is I think that people have this concept that banjos always have to be played fast and furious and happy, and it can be an incredibly mesmerizing, thoughtful instrument. And long ago, people would make their own banjos. They'd sit on their own front porch. They'd play these incredibly simple tunes, not necessarily fast unless they were going to a dance to play for a dance or something like that.
Right.
And just, like you were showing your Jupiter stuff earlier, just look at the stars and repeat that same melody that they made up in a kind of thoughtful way for a really long time. And what we have now, to a certain extent, is a repertoire of tunes like that people made up on their front porches that became real tunes that, luckily, thanks to people like Mike Seeger and a whole bunch of others, somebody came around and documented them, recorded them, passed them on, kept them in there for us. And
Yeah.
to us, that's part of the magic of the old-time music world.
Yeah. Would you call old time music traditional, or are they not the same kind of category?
I would absolutely call it traditional, although I would say that there certainly are what I would call a lot of old-time music roots and branches. So there are traditional tunes played in traditional styles, there are traditional tunes played in contemporary styles, there are contemporary tunes based on people having sort of grown up in or learned via the tradition. And I feel like that's all part of it.
Cool. Interesting. I wanted to ask you, how'd you meet?
You want to tell her?
You tell.
All right.
'Cause
Well,
I might
it was
have a different-
1980, July of 1980.
Are they two different stories?
Not necessarily.
No, not really. Not really. I'm thinking of the accordion.
We didn't meet that way.
Okay. See, yeah, I guess there's two different stories.
Perfect. But I will tell you that Marcy saw me perform before I ever met her, because I used to be in a duo back in the 70s with a very talented and insane person named Duck Donald, and we did a lot of old-time duets, and it's really where I learned the formation of my love of old-time music and a lot of bluegrass and a lot of the skills that I have. And we performed in Michigan at a place called the 10-Pound Fiddle. It was a brand new club at the time. Marcy showed up in the audience. I didn't know her, didn't meet her, but became friends with the elderly instruments people back then in the 70s, and we're still good friends. Fabulous store, love it, love them to pieces. And in July of 1980, after I had left that duo, I was doing a solo thing and came up to Toronto to play at the Toronto Folk Festival. It was instigated by Mitch Podolak to take the place of Mariposa, which had taken a break at that time, one of the longest running old-time festivals. And Marcy was there playing with her band, the Bosom Buddies String Band, an all-girl string band from Lansing, in fact. And we were in a lot of the same workshops together, and lo and behold, we found ourselves in a late-night jam session with Norman and Nancy Blake and Robin and Linda Williams, and Gamble Rogers was in there, a bunch of old-time musicians. I was playing banjo, Marcy was playing mandolin. Around 3:30 in the morning, somebody said, "Hey, this is my room, I'm going to sleep, y'all go someplace else." And we all went someplace else, and Marcy and I went down the hallway to what we thought was a deserted part of this dilapidated hotel that was in the midst of reconstruction. And we thought they wouldn't dare put anybody in this horrible place in this hotel. We can just play down this hallway. And we started playing music, and after about 10 minutes, the door opened to a room, and out came one of our incredible musical heroines, Elizabeth Cotton.
Get out.
She had like a thing on her head, and she's in her slippers and her
Oh my God.
and her robe, and she looked at us and she said,
I prayed to the Lord to make you children a little less happy.
That is an incredible story.
Do it.
That's
Isn't
how
that
we
funny?
met Elizabeth
Yeah.
Cotton.
Oh my
Now we
God.
have an entire hour-long show called Remembering Elizabeth Cotton, or How Cathy Met Marcy.
Oh
And
my
we
God.
interweave, you can go find it on YouTube, on our YouTube page. We interweave a full hour of Elizabeth Cotton's music, along with not only that story, but other stories where both of us interacted with Elizabeth Cotton and how her music came into our music. And it's a really fun hour. If any of you are, desperate for another hour on YouTube, go to our YouTube page, look up Remembering Elizabeth Cotton, or How Cathy Met Marcy.
Oh my
and
God. What a great
So that's
story.
essentially how we met.
Yep, that's it.
That was it.
Someday I want to hear the accordion story, but we'll wait till next time.
Yeah, next
Okay.
time. If you're either lucky or unlucky, depending on how you feel about accordions, we'll pull out 2 accordions at once.
Yes, bring them when you come in the summer.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
outside is great.
yeah, outside is a great place
If
for
you don't
that.
have neighbors or dogs that howl.
So I'm looking at the time just a little
Yep.
bit on your behalf and thinking, the last song that we want to play is something that I wrote. It says right on here, March 23rd, 2020. It turns out to be the first song that I wrote after lockdown.
Wow.
And I'm thrilled to say that right now it's number 3 on the folk charts. We did a beautiful bluegrassy recording of this song with our friend Justin Hiltner, great songwriter from Nashville. And it's been recorded by, 20 or 30 people at this point. It's kind of spreading around a little bit, which is great. And by the way, I'll mention too, if anybody happens to be going, who are these people and where do I find them? You've got our website up there, CathyMarcy.com.
Yep.
We've got an email list. We keep people updated about once a month on what the heck we're doing. And also the Cathy Marcy Facebook page, facebook.com, Cathy and Marcy. It's really been a great opportunity, for what it's worth, without traveling, to still be making a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
And that's been a good part of it. I do a lot of work with a local performing arts center called the Music Center at Strathmore. That's where we host our big ukulele festival. And right now, one of the things that we're doing is virtual concerts with our artists in residence, and they are amazing.
Fabulous.
A woman named Shada Doa performed last night. Go to strathmore.org or Strathmore Arts Online. Go find her concert. It was recorded in Albania because that's where she's hunkering down, taking care of her parents during the pandemic.
Wow.
Amazing jazz vocalist with piano and guitar. And because she couldn't be here to perform it, she did it on Albanian TV. It's so awesome. And
Fabulous.
you are going to love that concert. Anyway, all the Strathmore artists in residence did one of those socially distanced versions of everybody participating on this song in sort of a New Orleans style. It's gone around the world a bit. So this is called Hold Each Other Up. And
Thank you.
Marcy's going to kick us off with a little turnaround in the key of C.
Yeah.
Do, 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 ba-da-ba-bam. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. We're gonna hold each other up. We're gonna lift each other high. We're gonna love each other better than before. This whole world will keep on turning, and hearts will keep on yearning for each other when the world's so unsure. We're gonna hold each other up. We're gonna lift each other high. We're gonna love each other better than before, than before. This whole world will keep on turning, and our hearts will keep on yearning for each other when the world is so unsure. This whole world will keep on turning, and our hearts will keep on yearning for each other when the world is so unsure. When the world is so unsure. Hold each other up.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much, Marcy and Cathy. Thank you for your music. Thank you for that song. Thank you for all you do and all you give to the community. You'll come back again in the summer, I hope.
Thanks for hanging out with us here and letting us hang out on your front porch inside.
You got it.
Thanks for putting out good things to the community.
Yeah, being part
on
of
a
your
regular
party.
basis.
Yeah.
And we will
This is great.
reciprocate and have some party that you are part of,
Can't
and that
wait.
would be super fun. And hopefully we can do it where we're safely together.
We'll do it. Everybody check them out. There's endless possibilities of what you can do and how you can be involved in the music of Cathy and Marcy. Thanks for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao. Until next time. I have one more treat, and this is about sending letters. Send letters to your friends, because we just got a letter from our friend Robin Cook, who lives down the road here, and she has written this beautiful poem that was just so great. So good. Anyway, here it is. Thank you, Robin. Send some letters to your friends. Hello, winter. I see you're still here. Today, cold and crisp, not rainy and drear. January has flown by. Inauguration Day, my high. Democracy survives despite those who love lies. 50 days until spring. I've had the vaccine, a painless injection, protection from infection. No big snow yet, just the passage of time. If it doesn't snow soon, just listen, I'll whine. So y'all stay safe, happy, healthy, and warm. Looking forward to seeing you when we find our new norm. Thank you, Robin. Don't forget to connect with people in any ways you can. I know we're all kind of losing our brains and our minds. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week. Special musical guest, Taya Gherkin, fingerstyle guitarist, who I've toured around the world with. Can't wait to see you again. Thanks again. Should I mandolin or should I guitar? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mark Lettieri, for telling us about your funkified course coming up. Thanks, each one of y'all. Someday I'm gonna write a theme song for the front porch. Well, I said someday I'm gonna write a theme song for the front porch. Oh, someday you just wait and see someday. I really am. I am. Thank you. In the meantime, thanks for being here and sharing this.